How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we are going to be checking out the roadmap and some of the update news for World of Tanks console. And of course, this is the second part to the 2025 roadmap for World of Tanks. And of course, this one is featuring a wide array of different information that Wargaming have actually given us on their news article, as well as we've got some other things that are happening as of right now in the game. So let's take a look at what's actually coming in the future, and then we'll take a look at what's actually happening within this next week and what information we have for that. So the first things first is there is going to be Regiments Part 2 and a new event, which is this Banners of Valor, which is coming at the end of July for the regiments, and then on July 1st we're getting Banners of Valor. So Banners of Valor, the first thing to come out, which is July 1st, so this is on Tuesday next week, I believe, if I am 100% correct. So yes, it is on Tuesday next week. So our next in-game event is Banners of Valor. This event features new tanks, exciting challenges, and a new event mode, which is Banner Bounty. In Banner Bounty, destroy enemy tanks and collect the banners they drop. Pick up your fallen teammates' banners to keep them out of enemy hands. So it's kind of like, what would you call it? I guess like collecting points, like kill confirmed if you were looking at like Call of Duty, for example. The more points that you pick up from someone's body, you can capture enemy tags, basically, which is the banners, and you can pick up your own teams to stop enemies from picking those up. And the first to get 15 actually wins the game. So that is coming in, and you can see this little screenshot right here, which showcases it off in the Valor kind of section in the actual garage. And then we've got Regiment. So we've really appreciated all of the enthusiasm and feedback you've shared about regiments, and based on the feedback you've provided, we are looking to add additional ranks between private and recruitment officer in the near future. In addition, look forward to part 2 of our regiments feature, including leaderboards and new store content and more. So I would assume that we may get some extra vehicles added to the store content, as well as they're actively working on customization too. So regiment commanders will be able to choose a shape, color, and center insignia for their regiment banner. So currently we've just got like a standard, and you'll be actually able to customize those in the update to regiments in part 2. So the end of July, probably looking around in terms of update days, probably like the 24th of 29th of July, maybe. That's the last Tuesday of the month, next month. So that is probably when this update will probably go live, but as I say, that's just me speculating. It's no official thing from Wargaming or anything like that. Then we've got new old tanks return. So finally, as we announced in our Tankfest 2025 stream, welcome back to tiers 1 and 2. So we are going to have tiers 1 and 2 actually back into the game, including 60 vehicles returning to Tech Tree in tiers 1 through 4, and will be available at the launch of our next season. So this is likely going to be in quite a few weeks, but at least we are going to actually see those. So at the end of July, essentially, that's when they're going to unretire all of the tier 1 to tier 4 vehicles. And then we've also got some things that are in progress and haven't actually been given a specific date. So if we take a look at the roadmap, you can see we've got booster trade up, new tech trees, new map, equipment consumables and skills, and HUD updates, as well as a couple other bits as well. So the booster trade up, essentially being able to trade in a couple of your lower tier boosters in order to get higher tier boosters. So as you can see, this is the actual screen. So you can see 1.25 times XP, 1.5, you've got 1.75 and times 2, and that gives 3 times XP boosters, and you can upgrade those for 12 apparently. So as you go through, you're going to be able to like upgrade your boosters. So a lot of the times, 1.5 times XP boosters, I typically don't use them, even though I've got quite a few. So it's something you can do to kind of advance your speed towards everything. So for example, you might take a few 2 times vehicle XP boosters and turn them into a 4 times vehicle XP booster. I mean, it's a nice handy thing to have in the game, and allows you to get the boosters that you will probably actually use, rather than some that you don't really see the point in using in the first place. Under exploration refers to new ideas and goals we are discussing among the team. These ideas are being considered, but we haven't completed any final designs or scheduled specific tasks related to them. So work continues to update the consumables, equipment, and commander skills. This is something that I think has to be reworked, because currently, as it stands within the game, things like accuracy and the ability to snapshot people halfway across the map or nearly the entire way across the map, at the borderline view range on the move by just pressing RB and them fully aiming and missing because of RNG is just something that is very bad for the health of the game. Because of the fact that, it doesn't reward actually aiming, which is supposedly supposed to be better than, if you just auto-aim on the move. Because as you're auto-aiming on the move, it's much easier to avoid being hit, whereas someone stationary trying to actually aim, using the game as it's supposed to be intended, gets negatively disadvantaged because someone can hit you much easier when you're stationary, when someone's auto-aiming you. So in my opinion, they need to nerf the actual auto-aim accuracy so that it is worse than if you were to fully aim, because at the current moment in time, if you're auto-aiming as opposed to just moving and aiming, they're the exact same. And although, you've got the bloom because you're moving compared to someone that's stationary, the accuracy bonuses that you can put with things like run and gun within the game, so a commander skill that improves accuracy whilst on the move, as well as things that are basically like when your turret is moving, which happens when you turn the hull of your vehicle, your turret is technically moving, even though it's the hull. These sorts of things are definitely going to have an impact to the game, and I think that they have had a negative impact. The actual level at which accuracy has got to in the current stage of the game is ridiculous. Even in things like the KV2, you can pretty much guarantee that you are going to hit, even if you are firing on the move, because, the tank isn't that fast anyway. But even with the horrific accuracy that it used to have, whereby it was funny when you actually hit someone across the map with the KV2, now it just becomes a guarantee that you're probably going to hit, provided the enemy is still there and they haven't moved away and the shell velocity is not too bad where they do get the chance to move away. So this is something that is, in my opinion, been negatively impacting the game for a long time and made it much, much worse for anyone that is trying to actually play the game how it's supposed to be. I think it removes an aspect of skill, which is the fact that you do actually have to aim. And it also means that people aren't understanding the mechanics of the game, because the fact that they have got away with auto-aiming for so long that when it comes to those situations where they do need to actually aim at tanks, they just simply don't understand where they should be aiming, because, it's much easier to auto-aim with APCR heat ammunition, the premium ammunition where you don't have to aim. And so this is definitely something that I think will reward the heavy vehicles in the game, because armor will become something much better. That is what I would like to see from this rework to consumables, equipment, and commander skills. I think that is probably what Wargaming are going to take a look at with regards to how powerful the consumables, equipment, and commander skills have been since the update, where all of this changed and they made a ton of changes to the perk system and everything like that. So they're also looking at adding functionality and information to the HUD about tank penetration. Sometimes you can hit a tank, but it's hiding behind a penetratable fence or other item on the map. We're looking at a way to visually, if your rounds will penetrate map items, so that choosing your shots is easier and faster. So this is something that they have on PC, whereby it will show obstacles in between with like a hash or hatch even. That kind of goes over the bits where you can't actually penetrate through an object, for example. And this is something that is added primarily to allow you to see what vehicles you can actually pen through obstacles and what is actually covering the vehicle in its entirety. Like maybe there's only a minuscule tip of the vehicle that is able to be seen. And then last but definitely not least, we're working on a new map. So no details to reveal at this time, but this fishy local will be out before the end of the year. So fishy, so of course something near the coast. Will be interesting to see whether or not it's a brand new map or whether it's something that we've already seen within the game. And then one more short note before we wrap up. August is just around the corner, so we hope you're getting ready to rock. So rock, music, maybe another Metal Fest thing going on. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see what that is going to be. If it is Metal Fest 2025 or another variant of it. And then, yeah, they're looking forward to an exciting few months ahead. So overall, not a huge amount of like big updates, I don't think, but basically like some quality of life things. And I'm really interested to see what they do actually do with the equipment, consumables and skills, and hopefully a rework that makes those a bit less strong than they currently are, because the variety between all of the equipment and crew skills is not very much, even between like tank classes, whether you play a tank destroyer, a heavy tank, basically the same few bits of equipment get used by everyone. So it would be interesting to see some more nuanced things where balancing becomes a lot more even out between everything. So like if you want to run an armor build with reduced damage, you can do that and not be significantly disadvantaged by the fact that, you know, you've got people running around with run and gun and stuff like this that are just super optimal for just any tank that you play. And then, of course, the new tech trees. That's probably going to be one of the most exciting thing. So we're going to have an Eastern Alliance Cold War and a USA World War II as well added to the game at some point. Now, Banners of Valor brings in new premium vehicles. So this is the event coming in on July 1st, which is Tuesday. So we've got the Tier 8 XM57. We've got the Tier 8 SFAC 105, which was absolutely broken on PC. We've got the XM800T Escalation Era Western Alliance Light Tank and the Sentinel Escalation Era 2 Western Alliance Medium Tank as well. So tank-wise, the XM57, this is basically a variant of like the XM... I don't know what it's called. There's another variant of the XM that we've already got in the game, which has like 400 alpha, I believe, 420, something like that. This one has way more damage, and on PC this was ridiculously good. Like if it can get into a position where it can unload 630 damage, so it hits you like an absolute truck. And with its HE of 90mm of penetration, it can do 900 damage. And 90mm of penetration is actually quite a lot, especially for medium tanks at tier 8. You should be able to pen people with HE if you hit them in the side. Things like patterns, things like Batchat variants, so you know, all of the French light tanks and stuff like that, all of the light tanks in the game, 900 damage you can deal, so it's a lot. And then the standard round penetration and premium round penetration on this tier 8 is ridiculously good. 270 as standard and then 315 as premium, and the standard rounds are AP, the premium is APCR, so you've got some really good ammunition loadouts that you can run in this thing. Probably the best sort of thing that you could probably expect on a tank like this. Top speed limit is 35 kilometers an hour and is supported by the gun depression of 7 degrees. So it's not the best in terms of performance on ridge lines, and because it's quite long and short, it makes the gun depression much more difficult to actually use, but it's still pretty decent. And if we've got a model of the armor, the turret of this thing is actually relatively okay. It's not insane. You do have a cupola, and you've got this rear part of the vehicle as well. So this part that can be penned by super high premium rounds. It's still very nice, and yeah, you've got this boat-shaped hull. Think of it almost like an E4 T95 hybrid. It's certainly got nowhere near the armor of a T95, but it's still very nice to play. And of course, the side armor is where this thing is going to get really rinsed by a lot of tanks. DPM wise, you got like 2000 basically, so it's not bad, but I definitely think it's not going to be the best in the game. 3 second aim time, 0.43 accuracy is okay. Aim time is on the higher end. Reload time of 19 seconds does make this tank feel a little bit like it's going to be in that wish-washy area where it's a bit too long for the amount of alpha that you're dealing, and so it's going to get plowed through quite easily by any tier 9 and 10 tanks that have decent penetration. So it's one of those that's going to be quite situational, I think. And whilst you can have some probably very, very good games with the high alpha that it gets, it is going to be on that lower end of performance versus alpha damage. So I think effective DPM wise is probably not going to be that great. But that is just my opinion. And of course, we'll test out the vehicle when it comes into the game. You also have a skin, so 1776. So you've got this skin, which looks actually kind of okay. It's got this American flag decal that you can have on it. And so, yeah, looks okay. And then we've got the SVAC 105. So this is a double pump, a French vehicle. It's on PC. And this tank is ridiculous on PC. It has absolutely no armor. So almost think of it like... It's almost got like that Manticore vibe of the lower half with like this double AA gun style turret, which obviously has no armor. So this thing gets ruined by HE rounds. But the thing is with this tank on PC, at least, it had ridiculous damage. And on this, we got 390 alpha with a double pump, which means you can deal 780 damage with that double pump. And if we take a look, so what has the SVAC actually got? So is in a class of its own. In fact, it's our first French dual barrel vehicle. Used its impressive penetration stats and reliable rate of fire to punch holes into your opponents. It's as simple as that. So there's no special mechanics with regards to this by the looks of things other than the double or the dual barrel. And so DPM wise, what are we looking at? We have 2,227 on each of the guns, so 4,400. It's definitely got a really nice DPM for a vehicle like this. It's also very, very fast, 55 kilometers an hour top speed. Does have very low hit points at 1,100, which sucks when you come up against something like a Death Star or an FE 4005 or pretty much any of the high alpha tier 10 TDs that console has versus PC. So yep, that is not going to be fun to be hit by a Jaeger's HE. You are pretty much getting removed in one. But if you can keep this gun singing, it really is going to be very, very good. And of course, with some of the perks and equipment you can put on it, it's going to be a fun tier 8 premium vehicle for World War II. And then you've got this skin as well that you can see right here. Looks okay. And then the XM800T. So this is an autocannon light vehicle for Era 2 with a top forward speed of 88.2 kilometers an hour. Now you might be thinking, autocannon, Era 2. Ooh, sounds a lot like a Weasel 1. Well, this thing may just be another overpowered Weasel 1, but we'll have to wait and see as to whether that is actually the case when it jumps into the actual live game. But there has been speculation that it could be just as bad. It is very, very small, it is very, very fast, and it has another autocannon. Definitely what everyone in Era 2 has been calling for to solve the problems of Era 2. I'm not joking at all, I swear. But there we go. It's coming into the game. Obviously, I'm not that well versed when it comes to World War II as to the most competitive vehicles versus what some of the other vehicles are, but I have spoken to some people as to what they think this tank is going to be like, and it could swing both ways. Either it's going to be absolutely diabolically bad or going to completely break the game, much like the Weasel Mark 1. So I guess we'll just be interested to see what the coin flip actually ends up being, considering this is a premium vehicle. And then we got the Sentinel, so this is like a French vehicle, French looking. So its gun was Italian as well as the turret. Its optics and communication equipment were French, designed with the Shah Lord AP58 as its base. So it's kind of like a French-Italian hybrid. The mobile medium tank uses a 2-shot auto loader to deliver 920 damage in just 2 seconds. So it's got a double pump autoloader, I believe, something like that. So 460 damage, 2 in its interclip. Its interclip reload is 2 seconds. So that looks kind of fun. It's got 1300 horsepower with a power to weight ratio of 22 and 65 kilometers an hour top speed. I'm actually looking forward to trying this one. I think this will be one of my more favored ones. I like the look of it as well. It looks cool. But of course, armor wise, it's going to be diabolical. Yep, it is diabolical. So it'll be interesting. But I don't think it'll be super overpowered. The DPM just isn't that high to really boost it over some of the other tanks with 2,800 hit points and not the best power to weight ratio versus speed limit that you can possibly have. It's still not bad though. 8 degrees of gun depression as well. Good penetration on the standard premium, but not super high. Yeah, it is going to be an interesting one, but I don't think it'll be super good. But that is pretty much it with the introduction of the new event, which is coming out. So 2 of these vehicles are tier 8 tank destroyers for World War II mode, and 2 are escalation era tanks. Then keep on. I was just seeing if there were any available from the new event that you could actually pick up for free. Doesn't look like it, at least not information wise so far. Then we got Banners of Valor flag currency and bundles. So you can see introduction flag currency, aka flags. So you're going to be able to see the flags. So you play the game, earn the flags, and redeem them in the BOV storefront for special in-game items, including these 2 tanks. So it looks like you can get them. So the SVAC 105 and the XM800T, alongside their skins and some commanders that you can also pick up. So looks pretty decent. And then you've got some bundles that are coming out where you can just buy them with those flags. So you can see 12,500 flags, 8,500, 9,500, 7,000. That's a lot of flags. I don't know how many flags you can expect to get, but yeah, I mean, that's a lot of flags. And then, of course, you can pick up all of the 2D and 3D commanders, as well as camo vouchers and stuff like that. And then, yeah, some emblems. So, then in-game store bundles. So you can buy all of the things for this event for 70,000 gold, only costing you about 250 quid. In my opinion, don't buy this. Absolute crazy, ludicrous amount of money. Yeah, 70,000 gold. You actually, like, what? Yes, you do get all of the vehicles. Yes, you do get all of the camos, or at least, like, what seems like a lot of it. But, yeah, and all of the new vehicles. Is it worth 250 quid or like $300 or whatever it's going to end up being? Now, bear in mind, these are all like just off the top of my head. They aren't the exact figure as to how much it actually costs, but it probably is like £200+ or like $280 or something ridiculous. Guys, like, the price point is ridiculous. Like, don't spend your money on stuff like this if you want the game to get better. Like, this sort of stuff just promotes them releasing more new premium vehicles that aren't really interesting or like promoting health of the game. And like, £200. It's basically just targeting the whales, these mega bundles. There's not even a discount on this one, so like, you are basically buying 4 tanks for like 200 and something pounds, as well as like some camo vouchers that are just thrown in there as like extra. So you're essentially paying like £60 per vehicle, which is incredibly high. And the fact that you're doing it all in one bundle, you're not even making like a saving on the vehicles. I just hate this sort of thing, as personally. Like, I hate that sort of thing. I think it's ridiculous. It just, to me, screams like money hungry for like the very basics. So yeah, and I haven't seen enough of the game to actually like enough progress with regards to updates to actually see them warrant spending that sort of money on the game. Considering that you can buy some of the best games out there for like literally a quarter of the price of those 4 vehicles. No, there's just no way you can price point it at that sort of thing, especially at the current state of the game, which we all know has been getting worse and worse. So yeah, these sorts of bundles, ridiculous, not even a sale on it. So yeah, there we go. That's my opinion on that one. Of course, you can purchase all of the, some of the vehicles, the Sentinel, the Falcon, the Equalizer, Hammer, and Vanquisher. With this one, they're not even giving a discount on the new vehicles, so you're going to have to buy them at full price. 12,900 gold, so like for the like £40, something like that, £35, I don't know. It is roughly that sort of price for the new Era 2 Sentinel. So yeah, quite expensive. And then the Falcon, not particularly a great tier 8 light tank. Equalizer is like the auto-loading like bombardier artillery thing. for 8,700 gold. I don't know. It's kind of niche and it's not as good as it used to be. And then the hammer, we got Tiger 1, so 6,900 gold. This is actually probably one of the best heavy tanks at tier 7 as a premium. It's very, very good. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to tell you to buy it for 7,000 gold, but it's a very strong tier 7. And then you got the Vanquisher Sentinel AC1, which is like the meme tank. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to buy a tier 4. I don't even know who buys tier 4 premiums, but maybe some people really enjoy the low tiers. I personally do not. And then commanders and cosmetics, so you can get Peter McLeod, so 3D hero commander and skins. I have no idea if I pronounced that right, but there we go. And then vehicle skins as well. You can pick them up as well in these bundles. So you got pattern and 2D commanders, camo patterns as well that you can get for patriots and that sort of stuff, emblems. That were all in there, and inscriptions as well. So the 4th of July, Banners of Valor, Bastille Day, Canada Day. And then we move on to get your Tankfest 2025 in-game souvenirs. So you can get the Gate Guardian hero skin for the FV4005. And of course there will be premium tanks. Check out the selection of fine British armor available at 50% discount. And catch our special live stream that was on Friday, so 2 days ago. And then, of course, customization-wise and the camo sets and everything are in the store. You've probably already seen it, but you can buy the Gate Guardian skin, which is available for World War II and Cold War for 30% off for 4,200. You can buy the World War II one for just 2,500, so I will get that as soon as I jump on if I haven't already got it. And then Tankfest 23 Vault as well, so you can pick up those Tankfest 2023 camos if you wanted them, as well as Tankfest 2024. I don't know why they're selling the old emblems. I would have kept it so that you had to actually be there during those events to make them more like prestigious or worth getting or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why they released like the previous year's ones. Just seems a bit weird. But yeah, that's like to make it more interesting. You're like, you know, make it more engaging to feel like you were actually there, you took part or whatever, and therefore you get the emblems. Seems a bit weird to just like sell the previous year's ones. That's just my opinion. And then stepping stones, we got some premium vehicles, 17 pounders, Tiger 131, the Fury, the Black Prince, and the TOG 2. For those of you wondering, the best premium tank in the game is the TOG 2. So you must get this thing. It is a British tier 6 heavy tank, and it is incredibly overpowered. It has the highest amount of hit points relative to the tier of any vehicle in the game, which means that it is the most overpowered vehicle, obviously, because of that fact only. There's, you know, it's just got everything. I mean, the DPM of this tank is ridiculous. It has the most hit points of any vehicle, tier for tier. And yeah, don't look at the speed. It doesn't matter about the speed. It's overpowered. You know, 147 miles an hour the TOG 2 can go, which is like beyond the fastest tank in the game. Yeah, I mean, it gets like 10 degrees of gun depression. It is the size of a house, so there are negatives to the tank. The armor isn't very good either. But, you know, it is definitely the most overpowered tank in the game. So, yeah, I would highly recommend it to anyone that does enjoy World of Tanks. And it's always fun to take these out into the game, even if they aren't actually. By the way, I was being entirely sarcastic. If you can't already tell, I know Americans, you do struggle with having decent humour. But, you know, TOG 2, there we go. 2,400 gold. It's definitely worth it if you want just a fun vehicle. Don't buy it if you want a super competitive one, but if you do actually want just a meme vehicle to run around in and have fun and, you know, go out in a full platoon of TOG 2s, it is actually fun. So yeah, you know, make of that what you will. Yeah, don't buy it if you don't want to play that sort of vehicle, obviously. But yeah, then you got the Fury, Tiger 131, probably the most overpowered tier 7 heavy in the game. Just crazy high DPM and basically better than the Tech Tree variant and the Hammer. And then you can get the 17 pounders, which is a TOG 2, and the A43 Black Prince, which I highly wouldn't recommend. This tank is not very good. I mean, it's got black prints in the name, so that should tell you, give you warning signs. But yeah, you can also get like a Blast from the Past, which has a load of vehicles all in one. It's got the Tiger 217, the G-Saw 1008, M4A3E8, a Thunderbolt, the Boilermaker. I mean, if you wanted some old vehicles that are like tier 6, maybe it would be worth it. But in terms of like competitive vehicles, they're not that great. The Boilermaker is the best one of those like 4, like tier for tier wise. But yeah, I mean, is it worth spending the money on it? I don't know. Percy's new toys is a G-Saw 1008. You can purchase on its own for 6,900 gold. I really wouldn't. I mean, the G-Saw 1008 on console is not very good. And then the Boilermaker and Thunderbolt for 6,250 gold with some commanders. I mean, that's probably the one I would go for out of all of these. But, you know, it's completely down to you. Don't spend your money if you haven't got a lot, obviously. And yeah, that is basically it for the update news. It was a very long one. I wasn't expecting it to be this long, but hopefully it's kind of covered everything that you need to know, as well as what's coming forward. I'm interested to see what your guys' opinions on the whole roadmap, the crew skills, that sort of stuff that is coming to the game. And let me know in the comment section down below. I'll read through some of the comments and I'll try and reply where I can. But hopefully you've had a fantastic weekend, a fantastic last week. I've been away on holiday for like the last 2 weeks, so hence why you haven't seen any videos or anything like that. But with that being said, hopefully you did enjoy this one, and I will see you in the video coming soon. Goodbye.